rolling.
We're rolling. Welcome. Hello and welcome. This is Natalie here, coming at you from Scraps of Love to kick off, I guess, a little bit, our Holiday Maker event. This is day 2 of our fabulous showcase of all these fun projects that you can make with the Holiday Maker kit. I designed this double page layout, and I'm going to show you today how to put that together. You can obviously do 1 page or 2 page with it. I decided to do 2 because there's lots of cute stuff, and I actually think I have it backwards. I wanted it to be more like this. Yep, that's how I wanted it actually to be. Oh, well, there you go.
Works either way.
Live TV, yeah. So just to give you a little background on it, there is a lot more dimension going on here than I think that the pictures do justice. And one thing that you may not know is that this little guy right here is actually a hidden journaling spot, which I thought was really fun. You do have everything that you need, aside from adhesive and basic tools, inside your kit to put together this layout. So let's dive in and I'll show you how we did this. The first thing that I did, thank you, and Sam's here with me too.
Yep, I'm assisting.
Sam, yay. So the first thing that I did was that I took 3 patterned papers, and you can choose anything you want. You can use solid paper. I chose these 3 because I like the colors, quite frankly. They matched my pictures really well.
So that's Build a Snowman.
Mm-hmm. This is Let It Snow. And this one is Chill Out. So my plan was that I didn't want them necessarily to be, like, for a striped side it would work. It's just not as fun of, it's not, you'll see when we put it together.
I would see it harder to line up.
It's harder to line it up, and lining it up isn't necessarily required, but it just is a little bit more fun when it's a little bit more funky. And I realize that the pink polka dot completely contradicts what I just said, but it was the color that I was going for because my daughter's jacket in the pictures, as I can show you, is that hot pink, and then I had the dark blue, and so I was really kind of going for the colors that matched my photos.
This line happened to work perfectly, didn't it?
It really did. I mean, there were 2 snow days I could choose from, and I said, no, these colors just match way better. So, of course, Lillian did have a hot pink jacket for several years. So, anyway, so that's why I chose these 3 patterns. And the first thing that you do is make a 2-inch by 12-inch, which is the size of the paper, strip.
Of each, right?
Of each paper. And you want to have 3 papers. Okay? Now, you can use solid. It would be a little less exciting because they're kind of going for a quilted background here. I guess I could show you again. Maybe this one will show a little bit better. You're going for a little bit of a quilted looking background. So you're not necessarily wanting it to line up. If you wanted to play with that and have it line up, good for you. That would take a whole lot more thought than I want to put into it. I wanted it to look kind of, it doesn't have to be perfect. We want it to be fun. And even if you wanted to take your pieces and rough them up or sand them down or ink them up or play with them however you want, that would also be a fun thing to add. But I was going for, let's see this fun, quick background that looks like you did a lot of effort, but you really don't have to do as much as it seems. So you take a 2 by 12-inch strip of each pattern paper, and then you're going to cut those into 2 by 2 squares. And then you're going to take those squares, where did I put those scissors? There we go. And you're just going to cut them in half. And do not feel like you have to be perfect at this. It's very forgiving.
See, I would have used a paper trimmer.
And, I thought about that, but honestly, for me, it's taking my glasses off and putting them back on to see up close. So, and it really is more forgiving than you think, that it doesn't really matter because you're kind of going for that funky, quilted, scrappy look. So you have 3 different pieces of paper, and you're doing a 2 by 12-inch strip, and then you cut those into 2-inch squares, and you'll end up with 6, and it takes 1 2 by 12-inch strip per page. So if you're doing a double page layout, you're going to do this times 2. Okay? If that makes sense. I think it pretty much does. So I have all of my little squares, triangles, actually I should say, cut up and ready to go. Did we talk about how this is my first how-to video? So I'm very am I shaking? Don't shake on camera. So these are my little...
It's all good. It's all good.
These are my little triangles that we've got here, and we're ready to go. Oh, can you see them? So these are they. So you end up with 12, right? Yes, so you'll have 6 squares, and you end up with 12. Yep. So you'll have 12. Just do make.
So you're just doing one page.
Yeah,
right now.
and you're getting 2 pieces of each of these pattern papers, and so
you'll have plenty.
You'll have plenty to play with because you're just using, you know, and you could even do a bunch of different colors. You can even, I've seen them where they took the strips and they just really pieced it up and made it look funky. So you don't even have to necessarily have the colors of each one match up. You can do a lot of really fun stuff. So the next thing that we do, I should probably write this down too. Where did I put the piece of paper here? The next thing that we do is we're going to take our background paper. So background, and it is 12 by 12. I don't know how it will work if you did it in a different size. You probably have to do a little math there. But for mine, this is what I did. I am going to score at 3 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. Okay? I almost wrote, I don't know what I about wrote, but I did not write. I was not going to write a 9. I don't know what I was thinking. So that's where we're going to score. So we're going to take our cool new trimmer from, I think it's under here. Where's my plain white paper? Well, cut. No. I had a white piece of paper. Where did I put it? Please hold. No, I think it's right here, actually, underneath. It is. I found it. Okay. So I'm taking just a plain white piece of paper. You can use colored if you so choose. This is just what the background that I chose. I wanted it white for the snowy effect. So I'm actually going to open this up.
Well, they get white in their kit too. So
they do. Okay, great. I know there's some other solid papers as well, so you could really play with this.
Yeah.
Do I have to unlock it?
No, just don't undo the arm. Score it at 3 and then 6,
Okay.
and then flip it around and score it at 3.
Sounds good.
But be sure you're using the white blade.
Yes, the white blade on this new trimmer from Spellbinders is your scoring tool. Now, if you wanted to do this with a piece of paper, like a pencil, instead of doing it with your scoring blade, that would work as well. In fact, I think that's how I did it at first, but I just didn't want to take the chance that there would be a pencil line showing underneath mine.
Where a score line is pretty
where
invisible.
the score line is pretty much invisible. You can only see it from behind, and you can still see enough to, so fun. All-in-one trimmer. How fabulous is that? And I think you can see pretty well the different score lines. That's pretty good. So there we go. All right, so the next thing that we do is we start lining up our papers. And I'm going to start with the snowman, and I'll tell you that I tried fairly hard not to make my snowmen have their heads cut off, but, you know, things happen. So you're just going to make this cute little chevron pattern. And I tried not to have my snowmen upside down, too, like their heads upside down. You know, I thought this through a little bit. I didn't just kind of willy-nilly it. But this is how you line them all up. And you see how they don't necessarily have to be perfect. But I did line them up first. No, I don't want that. Because it's the exact same guy. Do I want a tree upside down? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So you just kind of play with it and see what works. And know that all of these pieces are probably going to be covered up anyway by a picture or something else cute. So you don't really, I was more going for the dark blue, and with these pattern papers, this was the best, the dark blue that I liked best for my...
The backside would work too.
It really would. I did like the backside, but I had to have that blue.
Makes sense to match your pictures.
To match my pictures, yeah. And I think that that's one thing that some people don't realize when they are scrapbooking, is that it really does help. Oh, look at this. Almost right there. But
so
yeah,
close.
That was so close. That would have been fun. So what I did was that I used just a little pop-up dot. And you lay it out first so you can kind of see, and then you kind of just lightly set it down, because if you're like me, you're going to mess it up. Like you might be too tight on one side, or you might be not tight enough on another.
And so you're just lining up both the edges at the line you scored?
I am, and that is, thank you, I didn't mention that. So I am lining up the edges right along that score line, if you can see, and that's just how we'll do all of it. And I did find that doing one row at a time as opposed to going up and down with my pieces made it work a little bit better, because then I could see if I was lining it up right. And then once the bottom one is lined up, the top one will line up just as well, easily and lovely. So we'll just keep going fairly quick. Can you edit this to speed through my little...
Probably.
Yeah. But you can see how...
I should take your other ones and add foam tape to the back so it's faster for you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. So you can see that I kind of went with this one. It's still, you have enough time to, with the adhesive, to kind of move it around as you need to. And you really need to not worry about having it be absolutely perfect as far as how it lines up. You want it to look kind of scrappy, like literally scrappy. And you can see that I kind of lined it up a little too tight, so I'm going to scoot it over a little bit because I can see right here that it was going to have a little bit of a gap. So, not a problem. But isn't this just so fun how you have this little element that looks like a patchwork quilt, which is a perfect, cozy kind of a hint of what you've got going on in the wintertime. Most places, not necessarily here.
When we go up north.
When we go up north, or we go on a little, you know, we all dream of a white Christmas, right?
No, I don't think I've ever dreamed of a white Christmas.
Oh my gosh, I used to just be dying for it.
I like to look at the snow. I don't like to be in the snow.
Well, and I am a very hot-blooded person, and not meaning passionately, I mean like I'm always warm. Like Sam's probably freezing right now, and I'm like
really cold.
I'm barely getting comfortable. So I have said that I need to be blizzarded in for like a good 2 months before I'll not want to be buried in snow because I'm so warm. So it's lots.
You're in the wrong state, apparently.
I know. Grass is always greener. But since I started working here and seeing all the cute cactus themed everything, I have started to appreciate Arizona a whole lot more. So thank you for that. I don't have the wanderlust that I did have. So anyway, see how easy this little chevron comes together. And you really could make this absolutely adorable with a solid pattern or even some of the pearlized glitter cardstock that comes in the pack. The only problem with it is that it's not 12 by 12, and so you would have to cut a little bit more to get your pieces, but you'd be fine. So then you just go to your next one, and it's going to look like they're really... No, I don't want to use that one. I want to use the pink.
Well, I'm almost done, so you're good.
Okay. So the pink will line up right here, and it's going to look like it's really tight, but that's a pretty good gap in there. Some people that I've seen do this same type of pattern, they actually were able to journal in between.
That would be fun.
Right there. Wouldn't that be fun? I've seen, I mean, I don't write that small. So, I mean, it would probably be okay. It would take up a lot of space.
I think if you did larger letters in like one line, it would be fun.
It really would be fun. But I thought about doing it, but then I'm like, well, that takes away from my hidden journaling. Mm-hmm. So, and this is a pattern that would very easily line up.
You could have easily snuck the date in there, though.
Yes, absolutely. I didn't do any actual journaling on this one because I don't know if anyone wanted to. But do you see how this is about to line up perfectly? I don't really necessarily want it to do that. Well, and again, this is a harder pattern to kind of vary like I did here. But the whole reason that I did it this way was, again, it had to match my daughter's coat. And what's funny is as she's grown up, she doesn't even love pink anymore, and it just, breaks my heart right in half.
Not even after the whole Barbie movie stuff?
I know, no. She's still kind of more of a purple person, but maybe I can... She does want me to watch that Barbie movie with her. She brings it up often. I'm like, sure, when you start wearing pink, maybe I'll hold it for ransom. She loved it. She loved that movie. It sounds like it was a good one. But do you see how easy that just all came together?
Well, it's so much faster now that you have foam squares on the back.
I know. This is why I needed an assistant. So, hooray for Sam. All right. So, and then you just keep going. And again, we're going to line up just fine here, but it would be fine if it didn't. But imagine how fun it would be if we got out our sanding tool or a distress tool and really roughed up the edges. That would be so fun. Add a little something. Or if you are one of those that wants to stitch all around, go girl.
There's so many paper lines that I'm like, this would be so pretty to do this with.
Isn't that fun? And can you imagine it with some really fun florals? That would be really beautiful.
Or like the simple vintage lines from Simple Stories.
Yeah, especially... I mean, you can do that. I mean, the chevron pattern for me is like quilty, which thinks cold weather, but you could use this for anything. Chevrons are so fun. I also think it would be lots of fun if you laid it flat. That's another option. If you didn't use the foam dots and you laid it flat and you wanted to sew, that would be lots of fun and have a lot of thready pieces hanging out there. That would be a lot of fun. I have not mastered sewing on paper yet.
I don't even own a sewing machine.
I do, but I got a B in sewing class, if that tells you anything. So anyway, now we'll switch over to this way, and it's a little bit easier. That way you're not going to be looking at my hair way up close and see all of the silver. Yeah. Well, otherwise I would have to be going way forward to kind of see.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you're going the same way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where the bottom rows.
Exactly. So I would go like this, just so that helps me line it up. And then I'm going to do just the one side. Am I doing this right? Yeah, I am. Because we're going backwards now, so.
Yes, we are.
And you see this white on white? Still pretty dang cute. I love those mittens. They're so cute. So, I need to scoot it over.
And I love using white backgrounds because it really is a blank slate.
It really
where
is.
anything you put on it is not gonna, the background's not gonna take away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of my favorite techniques is to go through and just do a splatter of color using a little bit of ink.
Oh, and that would be so fun. Even if you just took some ink blending brushes and went behind it a little bit, that would be a lot of fun to add a little mixed media in here. Absolutely. Or even some, even if you took stickles on your finger and rubbed it back behind there, or what is that, glimmer paste that Nuvo has?
Oh, yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
There's a couple different ones.
Yeah.
We have the crystal paste right now from Sussex.
Yeah, but even stencil butter would be super fun if you had a pattern, like a snowflake pattern or something. You can do a whole lot with this. This is just your basic, how are we going to put together this cute little quilted thing? And I am doing it this other way, just to kind of show you. I mean, I feel like if you do one strip at a time, it goes a little bit better so that you get in your lineups. Because there's times that I tuck them too close together and then I have too big of a gap at the end. So, man, it really helps me a lot having these all ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sam. Mm-hmm. So, you can see. And we're almost done with this background. How long did that take? Mm-hmm. With all my chit-chat, maybe 10 minutes, if that. Yeah. That's pretty good to have a whole background done.
Yeah, I mean, this is cute.
Isn't that fun?
And easy.
You know that I found it somewhere else. You don't need to reinvent the wheel every time you do it, but there it is. And it's a little dimensional, has a little bit of movement. But think of all the possibilities. Even if you just took a pen and did faux stitching, that would be really fun too. So lots of fun things. You could tuck some thread in there, do whatever you want to do. So that's basically the background. That is completely the background. The only thing that I did different, and I'll share with you, is I went and all of the pieces that are in here are included in your kit. So for my my journaling card and this little guy, this is on the 3x4. I used this guy right here and that right there because I can't ever not have just a little pop of green. So this is my little journaling card here. And I did mat it on other papers that matched. And all of these background papers that I matted my pictures on, it's all included in your kit. The snowflakes that I used. Did you pulled some of them? Where did I?
I did. I handed them to you.
I know. What did I do? Oh, here they are. So I used some snowflakes that are in the AccuCut Center, but Sam went and pulled some other products that would also work. This is a Spellbinders. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
It's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
All of these are great.
You see how I have to be snowed in for 2 months before I'm going to ever not want to
Look
at how pretty
one's
they are.
The perfect size.
It really is. And if you layered these, how fun would that be? Lots of options, but we also have a lot in the AccuCut Center. The ones I used were in the AccuCut Center. So you can use those. And then I think that you can probably see, I can see it pretty well. You can see these little guys right here. I used some of the iridescent shaker mix pieces that were included, as well as these clay pieces that are included inside there. And then I also used stickers, also included in your sheet. I think I used, what did I use? I used cold noses, sledding, just adding a few pieces here and there. And another thing that I think that people don't I was afraid to do this, but I don't think that we need to make sure that we're making a complete sentence or a full complete thought. Just little bits and pieces here of words, and they can even be tucked into where you don't read everything. So that's something else that I think is something kind of fun that you can do with your pages. So, and then I used some of the ephemera bits that are included. Let's see if I can make that look. I used snow buddies, and I used a little tab guy up here, the cozy. I'm trying to sort of show you where it doesn't have the glare. Snow Day Fun.
I think This Way to Fun is that one, right?
I think so. This Way to Fun. Actually, no, that's a sticker. That's a sticker.
Winter Fun.
Winter Fun up here is one of them too. So I would have used a lot more. I had to share with my coworkers, so that slows you down. Now to show you how I did the hidden journaling, there is included in your kit. How many of these cards?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. So included in your kit are these cool little Minte cards that are lots of fun, and I decided that this was how I was going to use this. So at the 5. I lined up the scallop to 5 inches and I scored it. That's what I did first. Because I kind of measured what I would need for my front of my card. Does that look right? I want to make sure I'm getting the right dimensions on this. Oh, it's that one. So, yeah, you can see at 5 inches is where I scored it. And then I folded it over and kind of looked at what I needed. And I believe that I ended up just a little bit over 5.5 inches. And that's what I cut off. And
you scrapbookers don't measure, do you?
We don't. I mean, we kind of do, but when you get to matting is when you start really worrying about it. So that's what I did. And so on the inside, oh, I have a phone in my pocket. What is happening to me? I can't believe I have a phone in my pocket. Sorry about that. So, for the inside of this...
You're going to burnish your score line? It's bugging me.
Yes, of course I want to burnish.
Perfect.
Yes, thank you. So, what I did in here is... I don't know where my little paper went that I was writing notes on. Not that one, the big one. Over here.
Over there.
So, for our journaling spot... Excuse me. Our hidden... journaling spot. So I score from scallop at 5 inches. Okay. And then from the fold, as you just saw me do, I did about...
You said it was just over 5.5.
Just over. So I'm going to go like this. You guys remember that from math, from algebra class? That means roughly, yeah. A little bit more than 4.5 inches.
Okay. 4? I think it's 5.
No, 4.5. Because this is 5 inches, and then this down here is a little bit
so you
over
want it
4.5.
to be
So
smaller.
I wanted it to cover. So then my mats inside. So the inside of this guy right here, this is a 3x4.
Did you trim it this way?
I didn't. Did I? Oh, I guess I did. I guess I did. I have no idea.
So we're going to cut it one more time.
I guess so. Let's take a measure and see what I did. Because I must have... I was thinking that I probably wanted
It
to
probably
have
fit your mat better if you trimmed it.
Yeah. So it looks like I did it to a little over 3.5.
Well, that's a measurement.
Yeah.
So
and this
3 5/8.
Well, and let me even see. Yeah, so here's our basis. So what you're going to do, I think what I actually did is I matted it first, and then I cut off the sides because I wanted to make sure it fit in the middle. So this right here, this guy right here is a 3x4 cut apart sheet that is also included in your kit. And then I took the blue paper, and so this is 3.25 by 4.25. And then I put that on here, and then I trimmed my sides to match. Now, you could go wider with it. You could do really anything that makes it fit. So that I just did it. I lined it up with my...
So it should be 3.5 to be a 1/4 inch border. It should be trimmed to 3.5.
Probably. That sounds about right. And then these things are already 4.1/8. No, it should be 4.25.
It's an odd size.
It is an odd size. 4.1/8. So again, you can kind of see why I worked backwards with this one and put the mats in first. I must have known that they were weird. But I also wanted to make sure that my scallops were I didn't want to cut just on one side because I wanted my scallops to be, so it looks like I cut about 1/4 inch off each side. That would be probably a pretty good.
That would be about right.
About right to get you there. But just as long as, I know that I did it the reverse way just because I wanted my mat to stand up. And then I put all of this on yet another mat. So, and to adhere these things, I used dry adhesive, but I also would put foam dots in the grooves underneath so that they would stand up. They would hold up right.
Makes sense.
So, yeah. And then I just kind of went around and did the same thing with anything else that I used as like this right here, I actually popped it up even higher so it would stand up. And then this is a sticker, so I just let it lay flat. But these pictures, I think there's a pop dot underneath here, and there's pop dots here. So a lot of dimension going on here. So, but imagine how much more fun. I probably should have taken some stickles and played with it, but I think I didn't want to take away from these pretty glitter snowflakes that we had, because they're so pretty. And that pearl paper, it's just the prettiest fine glitter, and it's just so pretty because it's not like cut you kind of glitter. It's very fine.
It doesn't shed.
It doesn't shed at all. No, I wish it would. That would be fun. Be fun eyeshadow. So anyway, I think that's everything. I hope that you give this a try and have fun
easily
with it.
take it into card making too.
Absolutely. I think that if you just cut your squares smaller, you absolutely could take this into card making and just kind of make your chevron and then trim off the ends as needed. It would be so much fun. Very easily. But just a fun little patchwork quilt kind of a background for you.
Right.
I know. I think that's everything. I hope you all are enjoying our holiday maker event. This is a first for us. We're very excited.
Doing it virtually.
And yeah, first time doing it virtually. So anyway, thanks for watching, and look forward to the next one.